And what about the infamous Alex from Starbucks? The one we heard about a gazillion times. The one who supposedly drew a dead sheep on the back of Kleck's head and then said, "Do you know who you're talking to?"
You see this? This is a picture of me that a guy named Alex did at Starbucks. Most of y'all have seen this testimony. I went into Starbucks. I told Chris, who was a manager friend, I said, Chris, I'll bet you $1,000,000 Alex over there draws a picture of me, and when he does, he puts an image of a dead sheep on the picture he draws of me.
Where's he? Did he die or something? I mean, you always say that you document everything. You say you document everything, Kleck.
Well, thank God I document everything. So I have photographic, pictorial, and video evidence to show you everything I tell you is 100% true.
I went in there a week and a half later, 2 weeks later, and Alex would always go, "Hey, Johnny, how you doing?" Just like Barack Obama and Miley Cyrus.
So did you ever go back to Starbucks with a camera to see if maybe you could interview this demon who possessed your friend? I mean, does he still work at Starbucks? Does he even have a last name that you could give us? Give us something here, Kleck. You know, so that maybe other people could go and try to corroborate your story.
You know, like when I walk into Starbucks and they wink their eye and stick out their tongue at me and they draw a picture of me with a dead sheep and they don't think I'm going to see it. But as soon as I do see it and I say, "Hey, why'd you put the dead sheep behind my ear, Alex?"
Do you know who you're speaking with?
Yeah, I know who I'm speaking with. Do you know who you're speaking with?
You see, JJ's getting serious now. Starting to crack his knuckles and everything. He's ready to fight.
Then I said, "You know what the message is, don't you?" And then he looked very melancholy and he looked down at the ground and he acknowledged yes. And then I leaned over the table and I went,
The message is, your time is up. And I went, and he went, and his vein stuck out. And he's like, and he's like, he's like gonna freak out. And I saw it. And so when I went, your time is up, he went, and there was a pin on the center of the table. And I saw his eyes, and I'm like, he's going for the pin. I got some distance back because I knew it was coming. I was right. He grabbed the pin, but he didn't try and stick it in my neck. So anyway, so he grabbed the pin. He started drawing real fast. And oddly enough, he drew the Kobe Bryant Attack Fast ad a month before it was ever released to the public. Clay and I were like, what the hell?
because Satan knows what he's going to do. He knows what's up. He's the God of this world.
You're right, JJ. Satan does know what he's going to do. And I do believe that he's the one whispering all these sweet nothing prophecies and predictions in your ear. You know, Jonathan, I don't know how many times I've heard you say that it never matters when or where you are. There's always people coming up to you and sticking their tongues out and winking their eyes or baaing at you like a sheep.
And all kinds of people. Man, I'm not kidding. I went to the airport the other day to drop my son off. I had 3 people that I had to interact with that looked at me and went, I was like, I have people wink at me all the time.
But you never seem to be able to catch any of these instances on video for some reason. Not even the store security cameras. Nothing. You said it happens to you all the time.
I have people wink at me all the time.
You should have a bunch of personal video by now of all these instances. But it always seems like we have to accept that you say it happens all the time, but then you pull out the same old tired pictures of Justin Bieber or Miley Cyrus with their tongues sticking out winking. But for some reason, I don't know, I guess because Bono's so cool, you never put his pictures up there. You like him. I mean, I'd like to see some actual proof that actually lines up with the amount of times that you say this happens to you.
Do you believe that? I'd say prove it, Clark.
Now, we've seen you walking through Walmart. We've seen you as the man out on the street when you're pointing out all these man-made items that if you turn them upside down and squint real hard, you can kind of see something that might look like something. Maybe. We see a lot of passerby traffic on the sidewalks. But not once have I ever seen some demon sneak up on you and start asking you about your struggles in some growly voice, and then popping out their tongues and shutting one of their eyeballs up. Not one time, JJ. Hell, you were just in the Salvation Army store the other day with your newest live-in maid, Corey, and I didn't see you have to interact with anybody who might even be a little bit possessed. Except for maybe Corey. Or when you bought that watch the other day, and the girl who sold it to you, she had that cross tattoo on her arm. Boy, you sure did act quick when you seen that baby, didn't you? Yeah, you whipped that camera out and started taking pictures of that lady's arm pronto. But how's about her winking satanic face, JJ? Did you get a picture of that? Because you know that with a tattoo like that, she would have had to have been hungry and wanted to eat Johnny for dinner. But apparently she wasn't, was she? She must have already been inverted, eh, Johnny? Or else she would have went off on your ass, just like all those other demon-possessed stories you tell. Man, does anybody see a trend forming here? You should. Or times like this with Alex, where he's going full-blown demon on you, to the point where you think that he's going to stab you in the neck with a pen. So you got to back up real quick so you can counter-maneuver, you say.
And so when I went, your time is up, he went, shh, and there was a pin on the center of the table, and I saw his eyes, and I'm like, he's going for the pin. I got some distance back because I knew it was coming.
And this is all supposedly happening right in the middle of a franchise coffee house. Did that particular Starbucks make you drink your coffee in cubicles or something to where nobody's allowed to look at you? Nobody else but you has any proof. And the kicker is, you still don't have any proof.
Here's another picture somebody else did of me named Marcel. He put a dead sheep on top of my head right here and a goat on the back of my head right here. He had a serpent with the tail wrapped around me and the serpent consuming me.
And this Marcel character, who the hell is he? Do you have a picture of him? Or maybe we could, contact him or maybe get his side of the story? Because that's all we got to go on right now, JJ, is a flimsy story where you're jutting around acting all tough like you're taking on Satan in some type of cage match with all your grunting and growling. But still, no witnesses. So does everybody see what I'm getting at? Kleck said he knew that Alex was going to draw a dead sheep on his head because he would always go into that particular Starbucks and Alex would always greet him with his tongue sticking out while he was winking his eye. According to how many people you say that do that to you, JJ, there should be enough sheep-drawn Johnny heads floating around to staple up on every telephone pole in Texas. You're a supposed connoisseur of the word there, JJ, so what does the word always mean to you? It means every time, right? But like I keep saying, this is one of the most integral parts of your evidence to date, and you never once took a picture of this Alex character? Not once. And you kept going back day after day after day, but not one time did it ever occur to you to bring a camera with you. I mean, this wasn't some random occasion, JJ. Like you were camping out in the middle of the woods and while you were taking a leak behind a tree, Bigfoot just happened to walk out and you couldn't get to your camera quick enough. No, this was an everyday occurrence between you and some demon-possessed worker at Starbucks. I mean, wasn't there even an employee of the month picture hanging up on the wall there that you could ask your friend Chris, the manager, if you could borrow it for a while and maybe make a copy or something? Something. Does anybody else think that JJ squandered a golden opportunity for some good demon footage? But hey, at least we got this picture to show for it, right? A picture that apparently anybody could have drawn, and apparently anybody did draw it. And I'm just curious, JJ, if you had stuck your head from behind that tree and Bigfoot just happened to notice you, do you think he would have winked and stuck his tongue out? I'm just curious.